Here with us now is legal analyst and trial attorney Misty Marris. Good morning. Great to see you. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope it was great for you.
Yes, you too. Good morning.
Well, look, I thought this whole thing was in the rear view. I thought the whole saga was kind of over. Why is the prosecutor in this case arguing the charges should be brought back?
Right. Well, this case was dismissed with prejudice, meaning that it cannot be revived. But that doesn't mean that prosecutors can't pursue appellate options. So here, remember, there was a special prosecutor assigned to this case, Carrie Morrissey. And the reason that the case ultimately got dismissed was because the judge determined that the prosecutor had actually, in violation of ethical rules and in violation of Alec Baldwin's due process rights, withheld evidence and didn't turn it over to the defense. So now the prosecutor, this is another bid for an appeal. First, she went to the judge who actually made the decision, asked her to overturn the ruling. Now that was, of course, denied, right? You're going back to the judge who made that determination. Now she's moving up the appellate court chain and asking the appellate court to see whether or not what the judge did was proper. So the prosecutors can go through that appellate process. However, if they're not successful, the case cannot be revived. There's no way to do it. So this will be the last of it as it works its way through the appellate courts.
Okay, yeah, I remember headlines last month. The judge reaffirmed her ruling in October, 3 months after dismissing the charges. So what has changed since then, if anything?
You know, nothing has really changed, but I will say when you're talking about a prosecutor being accused of and a judge determining that you engaged in misconduct, that's very, very serious. And so if the prosecution team and the special prosecutor did not move forward and at least try and pursue these appeals, optically, it would look like they were almost conceding that they did engage in that nefarious conduct, which ultimately got the case dismissed. So it's not really surprising that the appeal is being pursued. They went to the first level, which is going to the trial court judge, and now going up the chain. If anything, just to contest the fact that there was this nefarious and below board conduct that they were accused of.
Well, Baldwin's defense has said that they don't think that the New Mexico Attorney General is going to be moving forward with the appeal. They may be saying that on paper, but what could they be preparing behind the scenes, do you think? Because I'm sure they're not just sitting on their hands.
Of course not. No, I'm sure the pens are really working. They're probably on fire. But what's going on right now is that the prosecutor filed what's called a notice of appeal. That preserves the right to move forward with the appellate process. It's very time sensitive. So that's what we saw filed. Then there's a certain period of time to fully brief. So the prosecutors would put together a brief of why they believe the judge erred in their determination in the decision, asking the court to overturn it. So if that's filed, that means that the Baldwin team would file an opposition, and then it's in the hands of the appellate court. What they're saying is because of the nature of the conduct that's alleged, because Carrie Morrissey, if you remember, I mean, we were covering this case together. She took the stand. We were all shocked in a hearing relating to the evidentiary issue. The prosecutor actually sat on the stand and had to concede about the timing of some of the evidence. I think the Baldwin team is posturing and saying, you know, if the attorney general peels the onion, it's just going to make the prosecutor's office look worse. So we don't think they're going to move forward. That being said, if they do, they're ready to move forward with that opposition paper.
I mean, just from a bird's eye view, is this common for this to be happening and we just don't know about it because, you know, the average Joe is not going to be in the headlines like this, or is this atypical?
So it's common in the sense that appellate practice happens all the time, right? It's a very common issue that goes into the appellate court system. But it usually goes because the defense is seeking an appeal, not because of very, very serious prosecutorial misconduct. So, Anna, God willing, this doesn't go on too often, because if this conduct, which the judge determined was enough to throw out the case, it was a gross violation of a criminal defendant's constitutional rights. And so that is why this case is so unusual and an anomaly. Appellate practice itself, very common. But the fact that you're talking about evidence that really was at the heart of the issue, which prosecutors failed to turn over, and then conceded that they had at some point earlier on in the case, which would be required to turn over under exculpatory evidence rules, that is really, really it shocks the conscience. And that's why I think you see prosecutors pursuing, at least Carrie Morrissey, pursuing this case, because the look is really, really abysmal from a criminal justice perspective. So thank goodness It's an anomaly.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.